my dear friends, this is Ritu and welcome to my channel. Today I have a recipe which I've been cooking for maybe since my school days. I love it, and it's very good because it's going to be tangy, so it's very good to make it spicy also if you can tolerate the spice levels. We prefer to eat it with a very spicy coriander chutney. So my spice levels are going to be moderate, very medium, not I mixed up medium and moderate. So it's going to be a very medium spice level. And let me run you through the ingredients. First of all, I have around 2 potatoes cut into big chunks, 4 tomatoes cut, you can grate it also, but I've cut it very finely. And then I have around a cupful of boiled peas, 2 carrots chopped into big size, not very small. And then I have 2 cups of rice. This is Sona Masoori rice, which I soak for around I like to soak it a bit longer, around 1.5 hours to 2 hours. And for the spices, first of all, I have some ghee over here, and then I have cumin seeds and asafoetida. Then I have 2 red chili powders, the regular one, and then I have the Kashmiri red chili powder. This is again 2 teaspoons. I have taken it in proportion with the rice. For each cup of rice, I have taken 1 teaspoon of red chili powder. A handful of garlic, then chopped finely. Then I have salt to taste. This is again something which is different. This is Sambhar Masala. This is almost like 2 teaspoons again. Then I have some curry leaves, and then I have some Garam Masala. And here I have the whole spices, some cinnamon sticks, half a teaspoon of black pepper, few 5 to 6 cloves, and then I have few cardamoms, green cardamom, 1 black cardamom, 2 bay leaves which I have chopped up into pieces with my scissor, kitchen scissor, and I have a star anise also in the middle. And then other ingredient which is already into the pan is my onions. These are 2 onions sliced, and they are being fried separately. I have some oil, around a tablespoon, and to that I'm adding a good dollop of desi ghee. For any rice recipe I make, I definitely add desi ghee, but I add it at this stage, not later on. And to this, I'm adding the cumin and the asafoetida. I always start the recipes with high heat. And if you're not standing there, then please lower the flame. So the cumin seeds are done, and then I add the first ingredient, that's the garlic. To this I'm adding the whole spices, all of them except the bay leaves. And then to this, not to burn the garlic, I add the tomatoes. And both my things are happening at very high flame. Even the onions, we still have to go a bit more than this. So here I give it a good mix, and if you want, you can add the onions also, the salt also at this stage, because salt is measured So I'm just putting the whole thing in, and as everybody knows, it aids in cooking the tomatoes. Even when you are cooking onions, you should add some salt, because then it helps release the moisture from the onions also and aids in the cooking process. So here, have a look at the onions. Still more to go, but now I'm just lowering my flame because I really don't want to have a disaster at hand. So this is the stage, because it is still going to color up a bit more as it keeps on cooking. The heat will darken it still a bit more. So this is done, and I'm going to take it out of the. Here I have my onions, which I've drained from the oil, and you can see it is a little bit dark colored. That is what you want. Because I'm not using it immediately, I'm going to spread it out. Otherwise, it becomes just a big mass, and pull it down. I've had a little bit of an accident. I did not record I forgot to press record. I added chili powders, I added the curry leaves, and then I added the Sambhar Masala. Now the last thing I'm going to add is the bay leaves, and good mix, and then I'm adding the vegetables, the potatoes. We are very fond of vegetables, so we add vegetables to our a lot of food, and even maybe the quantity might be a lot compared to what you like. Even with this, at this stage you can add the rice and mix it, but I'm going to cook the potatoes a little bit. And then I have the peas, which I'll be adding later on. Vegetables you add can be of your choice. And here goes my Garam Masala also. The way I add the rice is what I learned from my mother, and I've always, any recipe I adopt, this is the way I add rice, because it helps me cook fry the rice, coat it, or control the end result of this whole recipe very easily. So I have my drained rice, soaked and drained rice over here. I'm going to add it to the pan. So here I have it, the rice, and again from the edges I will keep on turning it in. Push it back, and the spatula spoon you're using should be not a very sharp one, because the rice is also a bit fragile at the moment, and it is going to go through a lot of stirring. I like to use Sona Masoori for such recipes. Not like I'm not a bit partial to basmati also, but I'm a lot partial to Sona Masoori rice, and it's basically because the texture, the end result is very, very good with Sona Masoori, especially for the the household, my household, the sort of texture we like with the rice. So this recipe can be easily done with basmati rice, but because we relish it with Sona Masoori, so I am making it with Sona Masoori. But please feel free to use basmati rice also. I am not going to cook this rice in this pan, because after I do the frying part, I am going to move it to the a pressure pan. And now, because you can see there is no moisture left, I am going to lower the flame and I'll continue cooking it for another 3 to 4 minutes. I continue with the stirring of the rice. Because this is in a non-stick pan, it is not sticking, but because eventually what happens is at the bottom you can see the rice and the oil very separately, but this is not sticking to the bottom at all and in this pan. Okay, so my proportion of tomatoes to 1 cup of rice was 2 tomatoes, medium size, because that is the taste we like. But if you like a bit more sour taste to your rice, add you can add 3 tomatoes to a cup of rice. So for 2 you need to add then 6 tomatoes, 2 bowls of rice. So you can play with the proportion of rice to tomatoes, because this is my version of tomato rice. So obviously that ingredient plays the biggest role in the whole dish. And then for the color, because my tomatoes were not a lot, I have added red chili, Kashmiri red chili powder. You can also add a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of store-bought tomato puree, and that also gives a very good color to this recipe. Just look at the rice. All the grains are glossy, and this is what we are aiming for. The vegetables were not cooked. They are completely raw vegetables, but they'll cook very nicely in the pressure pan. And at this stage I move it to a pressure cooker over here, and because this is soaked rice, I'm going to keep the level of water not very high, and just 1 vessel and it will be done. So I have transferred my rice here, and it's on a very low flame at the moment, but it has started sticking to the bottom, and that is a very good sign. Okay, so now I add the peas. The peas go in and I mix it up. Because I'm here, I can afford to raise the heat a bit. And then I add water to this. I have 3 cups of water lined up. I'm going to see how much it goes in. These are 2 cups. And I think I need another cup here. So altogether 3 cups of water, exactly 3 cups. And I hope you can see the rice and water levels are not, there's not much of difference, but this is the proportion I keep when I soak the rice. But if my rice is not soaked, then it will be I think 1 more cup. Now we close the lid and I take it up to 1 vessel. So So here I have my pressure cooker cooled up, and I'm going to open it up, and here I have my tomato rice, and to this I'll be adding the final ingredient, and that will be the onions, and I'm going to transfer it into a hot pot. So this is done. Enjoy it with any pickle or chutney, and as such it is very good if you're adding a lot of green chilies and some more tomatoes to it, but because we eat it with the coriander chili chutney, so we are going to have it with that. Bye for now, and